Good afternoon, class. So today is 5th of April. The first news is related to the Rafale. 8 to 9 Rafales extra will be available, and 8 to 9 planes will complete the first IF squadron of the fighters, and it will receive extra 8 and 9 Rafale. And the currently IFS has 14 Rafale right now, so the first squadron will be completed. Right now, we are in the procuring process of two squadron, which consist of approximately 36 planes, and they are currently working. So I hope you remember there have been a deal between government and government of 7.87 billion euros, and the first inducted introduction of the twin seater or single seater five jets that were available. They were having the squadron, or the name of the squadron was Golden Arrows. So I hope this is clear. The second one is the PSU banks may have to take 2000 crore hit. I hope you remember the decision that the Supreme Court have given with respect to the waiver of the all moratorium with respect to the compound interest, in which the central government have taken a centralized approach, only giving away a waiver on the loans that were taken up to 200 crore. But now the Supreme Court of India have said that it will be a blanket, no compound interest will be charged, so it will be another cost for the banks, that is approximately 2000 crore. That is going to create problem for the banks again with respect to the management of the loans. Now in that, if you remember, the moratorium was initially extended for a period of 25 days, 31 days, from March 31 to March 1st to March 31. Furthermore, there have been increase it or extension of it up to the August 31. So that was the issue that had been on the helm, but now it has been said that they will be reverted back and they will be done back. So I hope this is clear. The next news is related to a walk back. Now this is a Biden on H1B visa, so already we have talked about it earlier. I need to understand only one thing, that H1B visas were basically issued for all those persons who want to work or study in USA, and they are issued by the USA authorities. Mr. Trump has basically, with the aim of securing the ideology of America first and providing or securing the jobs for the local people who are in the state of USA, has basically put a ban up till March 31st, and after March 31st it was going to be lapsed if it was not extended. So now it has not been extended by Mr. Joe Biden, who have very well basically not against the migrant, although he also have to cater to the strong feeling at the home, because there is a large population of people who have voted for Mr. Trump, who have got the agenda, or who have keeping the opinion that the Americans are losing out to Indians and the other people who are coming from outside, which are called as migrants. Now, in that, there are 65,000 H1B visas that are basically issued over a year, and out of that, 70% are only issued to the Indians. Now, the aim of the ban is basically to prevent the jobs, but it have said that it have worst effect on the Indian services, and also the economy of the USA have also suffered directly or indirectly more on a negative territory. So that was a proper thinking policy, or maybe the nationalist policy may not always result to better economic result. This is what has been said in that. The next one is the good start. So this is a policy of a rare disease 2021. Now when we define a welfare state, what is a welfare state? That every citizen, no matter whether he is able to take care of himself or not, should be taken care of by the state, and whether they constitute the critical mass or not. Now in that, there have been financial support that has been extended up to 20 lakh. There has been also allowance of the crowdfunding and registry of the rare diseases. These are the three major interventions that are formulated by the government. Now, when we talk about the rare diseases, the definition of the rare diseases basically have three markers: the total number of diseases, the prevalence of the diseases, and the availability and non-availability of the treatment. Now, when we talk about rare diseases, these are as defined by World Health Organization, those diseases which are infrequently occurring, and WHO have said that we are talking about approximately among every 10,000 person, if there is a prevalence of 6.5 or 10 or anywhere between that, that will be called as rare disease. Now what is the need? The funding mechanism needed to be ascertained, because there are certain rare facilities which require one-time care, and there are certain expenses which are continual expenses. Now 80 to 100 crore of fund is needed but for the welfare state to raise that amount of money for a particular services is what is desired from a welfare state, and so that all the people who are not able to basically cater to their own needs should be taken care of by the center directly or indirectly in any aspect that they need, whether it is healthcare, whether it is economic, or whether it is social. So I hope this is clear, but still they believe that job is half done, that there is another thing that is needed to be done now. The next one is the Kerala planning at crossroads. Now, first of all, what is the issues with Kerala planning? So long, the economists have basically accused Kerala of not focusing much on the economic prospects and not boosting the state economy, which have led to the overburden of the debt and increasing in the debt with respect to the both revenue deficit and the overall debt that the Kerala government have taken beyond 36%, and the revenue deficit is at about 7 point something percent. Now, in that particular case, when we talk about the success story of Kerala, why this is important? Because the primary focus of Kerala government has been on the redistribution agenda, and therefore from the slow growing growth, Kerala was able to basically fund all the welfare program that it have run over the years. Now, when we talk about the growth, there are only two sectors who are currently reeling under pressure. One was the private education and second was the private hospitals. Now, when we look at both these sectors, they have lost over the decades, and in the last 4 years the infrastructure in the school investment has been increasing. In the private hospital, as the COVID came, the infrastructure have also been ramped up. When we talk about the success of the Kerala growth, there are two major sectors who are the major contributors to Kerala. One is agriculture and the next one is remittances. When we talk about services have grown the most, but when we talk about the structure of the manufacturing, that is also increased from 20% to 32% in 2018-19 from the year 1993 and 1994. When we talk about per capita income of every individual that is situated in the state, it is 60% higher than the all India level. So I hope you remember the all India level is approximately 92,000 at the current prices, and it is supposed to be decreasing down for the next year. Now, whenever we talk about the another infrastructure needs of Kerala, there have been a creation of Kerala Infrastructure Investment Board. This particular board basically want to focus on the infrastructure lacunas and the things that are currently in digital connectivity, schools, health and transmission. There is a payment, there is a portion of MVA collections, higher growth and higher tax revenue. So this was the objective that they are currently basically working for. The payment of it will be done by the portion of MVA. MVA is Motor Vehicle Act. So whatever the collection from the Motor Vehicle Act, they are provided. The Kerala Infrastructure Investment Board payment will be provided by the same type. Now, when we talk about the issues, Kerala government is focusing on the same issue, that whenever there will be higher growth, there will be higher tax revenue. And if the growth is going to generate tax revenue, then definitely it is going to help the economy as a whole. When we talk about Kerala debt to GSTP ratio, then it is currently at 36% and one of the highest in all the states in India. So that is also a major amount of loan that they have to be processed. When we talk about risk, there is economic shocks, floods, job loss in the West Asia, that is an increasing concern. And in the backdrop of this, there is a higher education infrastructure program that is needed to be maintained, which will actually lead to the job to the domestic sectors and also to the jobs in the region that is situated, which is currently focusing on either on agriculture or the fishing sector, or either on the remittances that is coming from outside. The next one is the roadmap for tolerance. So March 21 is celebrated as an International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The racial discrimination has been determined as a breach of human rights, and whenever we talk about the mission of United Nations, they have said that we will confront ignorance with knowledge, bigotry with tolerance, without enmity against anybody, and therefore will bring a society that will be free from of any type of racial discrimination. Now, when racial discrimination happen, it not only affect a particular individual mentally or by health wise, but it also affect the social cohesion of all the community altogether. When we talk about racial ideology, as the people are learning and knowing about things more and more, there is less acceptability to the racial discrimination and more acceptability to the hands of generosity. When we talk about hate crimes, they have been growing in the COVID times, specifically against the Asian, that grew at 200%. When we talk about India and Sri Lanka, there have been some issues, online propagandas that have been run by the state factors, also the media and the social media, for the boycott of the religious minorities for conducting their own religious affairs. And there is a spread of false information among the people that is also being a major concern for the people right now. There have been discrimination and indignities that are needed to be contained, and the racism that is currently happening online is generally called as a techno racism. So what kind of filters and the responsibility of the social media, the check of the government, the regulation of the government, these are the all things that are needed to be considered here. When we talk about the ethnic communities, they are getting more affected because of the COVID virus and need basically to make their vulnerability less painful. Apart from that, the discrimination not only happens on the racial terms, but it also happen on the caste terms, the religious terms, the gender discrimination. Now, women and girls in the time of the COVID have carried double the burden of the work that they have to do. And in that particular case, we should, or we can say directly that we are standing for the westernized values and not the actual practical altercation of westernized value that is currently followed in the West. So what the West stood for once upon a time was the rule of law, the freedom of press, the democracy of the people, the right to dissent, the equality before law. So these were the things that have been earlier propagated by the West, but now they have been doing the exact opposite. Now, the next news is related to Jordan Prince Hamza under house arrest. So there have been accusation in Jordan with respect to the this prince who have been jailed, and he have been accused of destabilizing the kingdom, and he is a half brother of King Abdullah too, and arrested at least 16 other suspects with him. There have been issues and counter arguments on both the sides. Sides have actually asked for the peace to be coming out and the situation to be prevailing directly or indirectly, and they are hoped for a clear resolution. The next one is again Philippines accuses China of plans to occupy more areas. So there are still 44 Chinese boats near the Whitsun Reef, and it has been said that these particular reefs, as said by issues, that is a general practice that the people came to this particular sea for preventing themselves from the storms that generally happen. However, Philippines government have issued the statement if there was any kind of storm that were going to occur, they would have very well known it and they would have very well actually worked for it. So these are some of the things that they have talked about. So I hope this is clear. तो अभी के लिए इतना ही करते हैं, नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में यहीं से शुरू करेंगे.